Okay, you know, Roger, I'm quite interested in the methods used by card sharps and gamblers, and when you read all these different books and everything, you soon come to realise just how clever some of these famous card sharps were. And the reason they were so clever is because they used to practice a lot.
Yes.
And they would practice using the aces, and what they would do, they would practice estimating the positions of for example, the red aces, and practice cutting to each one of those red aces. For example, doing this, and there might be an ace, but that was pretty easy to do because the ace was near the top of the pack. As well as practicing cutting to the aces, they also practice shuffling the aces to the top using what is known as a jog shuffle. And using a jog shuffle, they would simply cut at the in jog and then get themselves another ace. That would be two aces. Of course, they'd also do the same thing using a more professional shuffle. And using a more professional shuffle, they would still get themselves an ace on the top and sometimes an ace on the bottom of the pack also. Now, of course, card sharps are famous for being able to deal cards to themselves from the bottom of the pack, and they would practice by having the aces on the bottom of the pack. And with the aces on the bottom of the pack, they would practice cutting the cards, keeping the aces on the bottom of the pack. Or they would have the aces on the bottom. Again, practice cutting the cards. The aces would still be on the bottom of the pack. And with the aces on the bottom of the pack, they could then practice dealing themselves the aces to themselves from the bottom of the pack. And in this way, they would get themselves those four cards, the four aces, and they would be the aces. And of course, as well as practicing dealing the aces to themselves from the bottom of the pack, they would also practice dealing the aces to themselves from the middle of the pack also. So, and to do that, they would have the aces in separate positions in the middle of the pack, or sometimes all together. And they would deal themselves the aces to themselves from the middle of the pack, except sometimes they would be very crafty, and instead of giving themselves the aces, they would sometimes give the aces to their partner from the middle of the pack. One other thing a card sharp would practice for hours and hours on end is he would practice dealing the aces to himself using not bottom deals or middle deals, but using a method known as stacking the cards. And in order to do that, he would have the aces all together on the top of the pack. And in just one shuffle, he would stack those cards with four aces. So when it come time for him to deal, he would deal, and there would be an ace. Remember, just now the aces, they were all together on the top, yet in just one shuffle, he manages to get those four cards, the four aces. So those are just a few things that a card sharp would spend his entire life practicing. But there's also one other thing a card sharp would practice more than anything else, because he would always like to know the position of almost every single card in the pack. And in order to do that, he would use a system. And the simplest system which he would normally use is simply to make sure that on the bottom of the pack is the ace of spades, because he would then know that next is the two of spades, followed by the 3, the 4, the 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, jack, queen, and the king. Of course, here would also be all of the hearts, also in perfect numerical order. There would be the clubs in perfect numerical order, and that is the world famous card sharping system of remembering positions of cards. That's how you do it.